Where do all these trophies and medals live in your household? Are they in your household? Like,
Here's my gold medal. It's in a sock.
oh,
In a sock.
Yeah.
what?
Oh,
Oh, wow.
she's beautiful.
Stunning. Oh my God. All right, welcome to Never Offside. Today we have a very special guest, Kendall Coyne Schofield. She, obviously, the world just saw her win gold at the Olympics in hockey, but also just a pioneer of the PWHL. So decorated, so cool, so badass. So we cannot wait to show you everything that we talk about with her. But first, Julie, thank you so much for hosting the Sharkies last week. That was a time.
So much fun to see from afar. We talked about it last week, but we Line Change sponsored, Kat hosted the Sharks ladies for a Call the Girls, Let's Celebrate Women in Sports night at the SAP Center. And we kicked it off with you guys. We're doing a handful of these activations across the league to, just represent Women in Sports night and our new collection that is dropping with a handful of teams. And Kitty Cat was our hostess with the mostest.
First of all, I didn't realize that was your first one, that we were the kickoff. That's so fun.
Yes, it was. And it was our first ever merchandise activation, if you will, on site. It was just so cool to see it come to fruition, and everybody in the Sharks organization that helped do man it on site, saw the vision, executed it. It was a dream come true. It was so fun seeing you girls lean into it.
Oh, they loved it. We just haven't done anything like that, obviously, and you guys haven't either. So it was cool. We started the night in this speakeasy that none of us even knew existed in the SAP Center, which is very cool.
Fun fact, a previous owner that used to be an apartment.
Yes.
Did you learn? Yeah. And then
they told me that. That's why none of us knew what it was.
There's a very cool story behind it, that it was an apartment where the owner, I guess, would stay over.
Was it owner or GM? It was somebody.
Something.
Yeah.
Somebody would stay over if they needed to, I guess. So.
Which is so funny.
Yeah.
Because it had everything. It was a beautiful room. It had a nice bar area, a kitchen area, a bathroom. It was very nice. And they did it up with you guys' merch, and they uplit everything in teal. It was really cool. So we started with that, and then we went up to the suite for the game, and just every detail I saw you in every detail, obviously missed details, but it was funny, even down to the teal margarita.
Actually, okay, so I had a freak out because there was a pink cocktail situation presented to me. I called you and I was I don't think this is gonna fly, but I'm too afraid to say no at this point. But then you were I think we're a little bit more on the tequila side of things. So I was okay, whatever. I'm just gonna shoot my shot. The Sharks made it teal. I was let's do a margarita situation, and they were okay, no problem. I just thought it was gonna be a typical margarita. When I saw it was teal, I was I was on cloud nine when I saw that.
Teal with the dehydrated citrus.
It was amazing. I literally cannot take credit for that. I will give you and the Sharks team credit for that. And we also had an incredible team on our side putting in the work for the details and getting all those things set up. But such a fun night for y'all. Yeah. Sharks fans, all the merch that we did for the SAP goes on pre-sale on the 2nd, and actually today? What is today? The 2nd,
yesterday,
whatever day
if you're listening
is.
Yesterday.
Yep. And then in store on the 7th. So super exciting, super excited for y'all.
I got
and everybody there.
lots of DMs about it, so it was great.
I'm so happy that y'all had a great time. And it was a perfect timing because it was like right after break and y'all haven't been together.
Well, so that's something I didn't mention in my little video that I made for the Sharks and for all of you. The coolest part about it was we had like 4 girls-ish from maybe 4 or 5 from coming from the Olympics. And it's the first time we saw each other. So like Felicia, you know, like I was just like grilling her on just like, tell me all your stories, you know, tell me everything.
Yeah.
Taya, like all these girls. So it was like, it was so cool to just like catch up, but then also hear all these like cool Olympic stories and hear all them hanging out. So that was like, it just worked out perfectly.
It was great.
Thank you.
I'm happy and I'm grateful for you, Kat, that you held down the fort. Because,
I mean, how hard is it for me to host? Like,
Yeah,
how
well,
hard is that?
Speaking of hosting, you continued to host through the weekend.
Oh gosh, yeah. Well,
You just
okay,
kept it rolling.
I mean, I had to welcome all the guys back. You know, that's how we do.
Yep.
But I have to say, at the game, okay, so Ty scored at the game, right? And
Makes it even better that we hosted an event and Kat was there and Ty scores.
I watched it happen in real life, which is very, if you know me, that doesn't happen a lot. And it was the first goal that Ty and Misa scored together. So it was like the first family goal.
Oh,
Yeah, so he had an assist. And when we got in the car to leave, I was like, was that you guys' first like goal together? And they were like so bummed about it. But I am in a predicament. Because we lost that game. But I watched this beautiful goal happen in real life. Then Saturday and Sunday, we had 2 1 p.m. games. And you know me, I love a 1 p.m. game. I love a fun day. Like give me sports and a 1 p.m. And for some reason, something always happens where I can't make it. Like always. And it's not me sleeping in. It's like literally like anything from like I have to stay at home to sign for something or something
Right.
breaks, like whatever. So I missed both Saturday and Sunday games. Another Tyler to Misa goal happened. Misa
but
scored
they
his
win.
Yeah, they win. So Misa scored the overtime winner, his first
I think
overtime
it's a
shift.
wash. I think you can do whatever you want.
I know.
I think
but,
that's
like,
what it means.
I missed both. They were beautiful games. Again, Misa's first overtime shift, he scores the game winner, and I missed both of them, and they win. So, like, what do I do? I don't know what to do.
I think it's a wash.
Yeah.
I think you can do whatever, and it don't matter.
Yeah, Sharks fans, don't get mad if you see me at a game. Like, I want to come.
Yeah,
But, like,
you should. You should
yeah.
go and
Yeah.
wander the concourse or whatever. Do what you do. Kat, at the end of the day, you don't matter.
Superstitions.
It's not up to
I
us.
matter.
It's not up to us.
I know. Oh my God. So yesterday, everyone came over, obviously, per usual. And Meese was so excited. Sam was excited. I think he got a point on that goal. Like it's really been funny in having somebody live with us this year, in having post-game excitement breakdowns.
Breakdown.
Yeah, it's really cute because, you know, I'm in the conversation and like, who am I to talk about like a, you know, breakdown hockey? But like, I'm in it and I'm excited about it.
You're
and
just like, cheers.
yeah, woo. And like, Sam's like, I chirped this guy. And I'm like, what'd you say? Like, it's just like, it's funny. And I don't know how I got here in my life, but here I am. So
It's the best.
yeah.
I love it.
No, it's great. So shout out to just all these fun guys and memories we're making. So anyway, yeah.
Well, what a fun weekend. Up next, we are going to chat with Kendall Coyne Schofield on all things from Milan to her teammates from Team USA, getting a little bit more behind the scenes about their personalities and so much more and everything that she does. So that'll be up after the break. We have a very special guest today. She has won the Patty Kazmira as top player in NCAA women's hockey, a 2-time Walter Cup champion, 7-time world champion, and 2-time Olympic champion. You've seen her on NHL broadcasts. She's appeared in many commercials. She's been a player development coach in the AHL. She's participated in the NHL All-Star competition. She's also married to a Super Bowl champion, and she is a mother to a 2-year-old little boy named Drew. Welcome to the show, a new friend of the pod, Kendall Coyne Schofield. We're so excited to have you. Like, reading that off for the 35th time, I'm like, what? Like, and also, like, you do it all. Like, I've worked, like, behind the scenes with you on little things, like the little sweatshirt you're wearing, like, things like that. And The details you're in and things that people don't even see that you're involved in is, I just don't even think people know how involved you are on everything and every level that you do. So being a mother, a wife, and this adorned champion, like, I'm bowing down to you. That's just, you're incredible. So have you come down from a high? Are you still on this high? Like, where's your head at? Where's your head space after Milan?
Definitely still on a high, but definitely have come down to reality coming back home. And, whether it's coming home with 5 suitcases that you have to unpack. And I did purge my closet because I didn't know where to put all the stuff. It's also just now experiencing the games through the lens of everyone else, like through my family members. And when you're competing the games, your family doesn't tell you anything that's going on in reality. So like I'm just like learning so many things that happened and what they did and just all the things they didn't tell me. They keep coming out now that I've been home for about a week.
That makes so much sense. Is like,
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. They're not just texting you random things while you're competing for the Olympics.
Yeah, just like things like, oh, like the tickets, and like there were some of my family members were sitting here and some were sitting here, and they had to figure out who was going to sit where, and like all these decisions, and the experience that they had, like taking the train to the rink, and my husband having to carry my son for like a mile on his shoulders, and like their experience versus ours. It's funny to hear their side of it.
that's so fun. How many people did you have in your group over there?
14.
Wow.
Wow.
You travel deep too. Most of the people we're talking to, they're like, yeah, we had a crew with us. The suitcases, was that from just all the gear you guys got, like that you were gifted over there? Is that what came back, popping at the seams?
Yeah, so it's through the Team USA Welcome Experience. So we got 2 suitcases from that. They gave us an extra suitcase because we accumulated so much. So it's just like an empty suitcase, and then I went over with a suitcase, and of course the hockey bag and the sticks, and then my carry-on. So it was a lot.
There's no light packing.
That's crazy to plan out, like going into it. How did you even plan that out? How long were you there?
We got there on January 30th, and we left on February 23rd. So just a little under a month, I would say. Yeah, and I
Wow.
think it's like I've been to the Olympics before, so like I knew we were going to get all this stuff, but at the same time it's almost like, well, I have to bring this sweatshirt, like I have to bring this, I have to bring this, and then you get there and you're like, I have no room for anything. And the rooms were like really small when we got there, so like you were just stuffing everything in every little corner and keeping the things you weren't going to wear in suitcases just to like tuck it under the bed, and but yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
We were wondering about the Olympic Village, and if you, with all of your Olympics and everything that you've been a part of, do you have any like seniority in terms of like picking a roommate, or like how's that work?
Yeah, so it's funny you guys actually talked about like, oh, we brought a big village over there. I think it hit me, we have to go back 8 years ago from when villages were allowed to be able to attend the games. And I kind of forgot like how special it is to be there with your family, to be there with your friends, to be in venues, to have fans in the building, because in 2022 we couldn't have any of that. And so it really was just like a very unique and sometimes anticlimactic experience for what the Olympic Games should be. And so that made that this much more special. And in terms of the village, our we had I think 6 or 7 singles, and being on the older end of things, I had a single room. So it's I guess there's a little seniority there, but double or single, we were all right next to each other.
How
That's
fun.
awesome. We were wondering, how did it compare? Well, I didn't even realize, even think about in 2022 that it was like kind of the shutdown situation. But how did Milan compare to, the three other experiences you had?
Winning will always top anything and everything of the experience. So this experience would be number one. I think Pyeongchang would be number two. And then number three would be Sochi, and number four would be Beijing, merely from the lack of ability to experience the Olympic Games because of the pandemic at the time. But this one was so magical. on so many levels. And I think the world saw that, saw how special our team was. I know we were saying it all the time. This was a special group. This was a special group. But I think for those that watched saw really how special it was.
What was your reaction? Like, I was watching the game. My boys were like in and out of our pool, like looking at the score, going back, and it was just like getting to the end, and they're like standing there dripping wet in their swimsuits, like, ah! What was your reaction when Megan scored the goal in overtime?
Couldn't get off the bench fast enough, and then at first I was like kept looking up to see the replay because I saw the stretch. I saw Heise's pass to her at the far blue, and then I'm sitting on the bench, and Kat, like you, I'm not super tall, so I can't see above people if I'm sitting down. So I'm kind of like looking, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, she scored. And then it just couldn't get on the ice fast enough. And then we all kept looking for the replay, like, what happened? What happened? And she's like, I don't know, I blacked out. I'm like, okay, well, that's not helpful. Like, so we were just all like wondering what happened. And then, yeah, it was just like chaos getting to her.
Oh my gosh. And then Drew came on the ice. How did that go down?
Yeah, so actually at first, we had the national anthem, our team photos, and then when there was the appropriate time, I, went to behind the penalty box where they were at. And at first he did not want to go on the ice. He was a little bit fussy, no nap time, late game.
Yeah.
He probably sensed the stress in his grandparents, my parents, and my husband, like just they were probably so stressed, and he sensed that. And so I went to get him for the first time, and he didn't want to come. So then I gave him back to my husband. I came back on the ice, and I brought in a ringer, Kelly Panic, who's one of his favorite. And I said, Kelly, I can't get him on the ice. Like, can you come help me? And she's like, yes. So she comes through the penalty box and looks up and says, hi, Drew. And like, they always flex at each other, and he goes, muscles. And so like he saw her, and he literally like came right down, and then I went right on the ice with him. So it took a little assistance.
Okay, total mom move though. Like you knew the exact thing that would make him tick to like come get the moment, get the picture. Like that's a flex in and of itself of like knowing that in the moment.
Yeah, and then we got on the ice, and he was like totally like cool about it, and then you could tell he was getting a little bit like fussy about it. So I'm like, because he kept asking for a puck. So if you go back to the Canada game in the prelims, a puck magically landed like in front of him, and it was like the highlight of his Olympics. Like people kept calling him the puck kid.
Yeah.
And so so we got on the ice, and he's like, I want a puck, and I'm like, oh, this is the Olympics. Like they don't hand these things out, right?
The only puck available is like hopefully somewhere special.
The winning one.
It was in our equipment manager's pocket because she heard him, and she goes, I have this puck. I go, put that right back in your pocket. And then so then I went to the bench, and I saw 2 rolls of like tape, and I knew that they would just like settle him, and he like there was like a red and a blue like the powered flex tape, and so he kept that in his hands, and then he was like cool as a cucumber, and he was fine. We got a couple pictures, which was super special.
Oh my gosh, memories forever.
That's so funny. The puck boy.
The puck kid.
So
the puck kid.
The puck kid.
That's what. And I was like, my husband's like, Kendall, like people were like saying that's the puck kid, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like whatever.
No,
we go to the Duomo. We go to the Duomo, and we go to the top on our day off, and someone comes up to us and goes, is that the puck kid? And I'm like, oh no. And then we go down the Duomo, and we're hanging out just near it and walking around. Someone else comes up to us and goes, is that the puck kid? And I'm like, oh, you weren't kidding. He's like, no, I wasn't kidding.
It's a thing. Oh.
Somebody get him a sponsorship by like some sort of.
Get his picture
crazy.
on some pucks. I guarantee that would be the seller. Oh my goodness. Well, your son obviously stole the show in those moments, but Kat and I can't help but also recognize your husband in these moments, like a big burly football player, Super Bowl champion turned #1 cheerleader for you, and watching him be your biggest champion on the sidelines with your son is magical to watch in and of itself. What is that like to you, and to have them there and have I guess, like, I don't know, as a mom, just like the peace knowing like everything's under control because, it's taken care of. Like he's got it.
Yeah, I think for both of us, we said like being with each other is the greatest team we've ever been on. And if the roles were reversed, if he was still playing, it would be the exact same way. I would be, doing what he was doing when we were watching him play football. And I think for so many people, we've gotten a lot of comments of like, wow, like my husband would never be capable of that, or my husband would never embrace that, or things like that. Even he was going through customs and they asked, "Where's the mom?" And he's like, "She just won a gold medal." He was so proud. I'm like, okay, you just gotta get through customs, honey.
Yeah.
Like,
She's busy.
I'm not
She's
sure they
busy.
care about that one, but
yeah. It's like, but it's just like, we've been in places before where, he often gets like, "Where's the mom?" or he gets weird looks. And, people are like, "Oh, what is Drew wearing?" I'm like, "I don't know, whatever Michael puts him in." Like, I'm not, like he's got it under control. And, I think it is unique, but I'm hoping that people can see our dynamic and our relationship and our support for each other, and it become more of no, it become more normal. But yeah, he was basically solo with him for 17 days in Italy with a 2-year-old, and anyone that has a 2-year-old knows like
yeah.
he deserves
won
a gold medal.
medal. Yeah.
Exactly, he deserves 2 gold medals.
Yeah.
But I'm so lucky. I know I'm very lucky, and I wouldn't be able to do this without him. And we both had a dream of starting a family, and I had a dream of continuing my career, and we went all in together on both dreams.
That photo of him and Drew in the stands, like cheering you on, like what a beautiful.
Yeah, and the thing is, he knows what it takes, right? Like, I think that's what he knows. He's not going to stress me out that we can't find milk, or we can't find food, or we're rented a stroller, or he's not sleeping. I remember the first World Championships that I came back in Utica. Drew got 6 teeth, and he says he slept approximately 6 minutes the entire trip. But he didn't tell me any of this till afterwards. It was another similar,
Yeah.
like they don't tell you anything while you're in
Right.
it. And I felt so bad, but he was like a champ through it all. Never said boo, never complained, never like allowed me to be the best that I could be, so that I could be the best player, but ultimately the best mom too.
An athlete couple is so interesting, right? Do you have any superstitions towards each other, watching each other play? Like, does he, because I have mine watching Ty play, obviously. Do you guys have any towards each other?
Not superstitions. We both just say it's so much worse watching each other play than it is playing itself. Like, it's like so nerve-wracking. Like, we were at the US Canada gold medal game for the men's, and I was like, "I'm so stressed." And he goes, "Welcome to my life." It's horrible. It's so stressful. And I'm like watching that game like this, and he's like, "That's me the whole game." And he's like, "I believe in you, don't get me wrong, but it's just
Yeah.
so stressful when you have no control over it." So I think it's more just like a stress response than it is like anything else.
For sure.
Yeah.
How did you guys meet? I just want to go back a little bit toward how did your story start together?
So we met in a gym in our hometown in Orland Park, Illinois, and he had just finished combine training for the NFL. So he left Michigan in the winter, was combine training, and then after the 2014 Olympics, I had to get a wrist surgery. And our strength coach at the time, Mike Boyle, said, I used to work out on my own at the rink, and he's like, "You're not working out on your own. You're getting this major surgery. You're going to do too much." And he called a gym in the town. He said, "You're going here." And I'm like, "I'm not going there, Mike." And he's like, "You're going there." And I was like, "Okay, I'm going there." And I went there, and he was there. We were both college aged people who should have been like either working or in school, like at 11 o'clock on a Monday. And we were both working out. And then that's where we met. And then kind of the rest is history from there.
Yeah. So when he went to the Super Bowl, fast forward, like obviously made the NFL. He won the Super Bowl with the Broncos. You were obviously in attendance.
Yeah, so he won the Super Bowl in 2016. I was actually a senior in
2016.
college
Okay.
at Northeastern University. And I think back to this, and I can't believe I had the courage to ask my head coach if I could go watch my boyfriend play in the Super Bowl, which is so not
mean,
like me.
yeah.
But like and I remember asking him, and he goes, "I'm not going to be the one to tell you no. You're going to have to go ask your teammates." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, that's a lot easier of a conversation than, and he's like amazing. And he was
Yeah.
like, "You have my support, but, make sure you have your teammates." And I asked all of them. We had a 6 a.m. practice, and everyone was like really quiet. I'm like, "Oh no, are they going to say no?" Like, because it was just like and then someone,
Imagine.
no, and then someone perked up and goes, "Can we come with you?"
Oh.
Which was super sweet. And so I had to miss a practice, which like, I don't, like, you guys know we don't miss anything. And so
Yeah.
we played Providence College in Providence and it was on a Saturday. And then one of my teammates' parents drove me to the Logan Airport from Providence to get on a red eye to San Francisco because the Super Bowl was at Levi Stadium. And then I got on a red eye. I was there for the Super Bowl, and then I flew back home, and then we played in the Beanpot final that next Tuesday.
Wow.
So I was very like, I look back and I'm like, I'm so thankful I was there. Just, like
Yeah.
it was tough to miss a practice and whatnot, but I'm very, very lucky that I was able to go.
Clearly you had a distinct pull that you needed to be there for a special moment for him, and I can only imagine like you watching him during that is like the same of his experience watching you. Just like it's so nerve-wracking, and you just want to throw up really the whole time that you're watching them in these big moments, and it's easier to play like you said.
And the nerves don't come out of like a lack of confidence. It just comes out of it comes out of like the deepest form of care. And like, how you guys know, like, how bad they want it. You know how hard everyone has worked for this moment, and you just want it to be like the best outcome, and you want them to get what they signed up for. And so it's just like, and you have no control over it. So you're like, okay, here we go.
Where do all these trophies and medals live in your household? Are they in your household? Like,
Here's my gold medal. It's in a sock.
oh,
In a sock.
Yeah.
what?
Oh,
Oh, wow.
she's beautiful.
Oh my God.
Um,
How heavy is that?
It's actually really heavy, and like the ribbon is
Yeah.
not very durable, so it's kind of like, yeah, you got to be careful with it. But
Okay, I feel like I saw one of your teammates post from their weekend in the SNL, and somebody was like sewing it back on, like to the string, to the lanyard or part. I don't
Because
think
it doesn't
that's
hold it well enough?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not surprised. It's only a matter of time, honestly.
Only about
Did
But
you
that
wear this
sock-
on the flight home? Like,
Do you beep through security?
yeah, did we wear it home? Like, how's this work?
It was just in my suitcase, like in my carry-on.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
like, you
thank
did
God.
not check that.
Yeah, it's just in my carry-on.
Just in your carry-on. Well, it's beautiful.
It
you.
is really gorgeous. Thank you for showing us our first gold medal on this
Yeah.
podcast. So that was wonderful. Question: did you guys get to celebrate in Milan after? Like, how did the celebrations go?
Yeah,
And what
we
did you
had
do?
we had a few days because we played on the 19th and then we left on the 23rd. So we definitely had a few days together, which is so special. I think that's the reality, and what's the more challenging part of the experience is once we get on that plane, and we were supposed to go to JFK, but because of the snow, we went to Atlanta. And as soon as we get to Atlanta, the reality is that team is never going to be together again.
Right.
And it's like we've been on this journey for, granted, 4 years, but really this group got together as a group of 30 in August for our first training camp. And then we had training camp every month leading up to the Olympic Games. And it was just such a special group. And so at least we had that time together after the games. And then now everyone's back doing amazing things in all different parts of North America. Because we have some players in Canada, some in the US, but yeah, so that's the harsh reality.
How were the closing ceremonies, like IRL? Like, what was it like?
For us, it was really special because Hillary was the flag bearer. So we were super excited to honor her along with Evan Bates, our incredible figure skater. And so, yeah, that part of it was like definitely the most special, but you're a little tired, by the time
Yeah,
you get there.
sure.
We had to take 2 buses and a train to get to closing ceremonies. And the men had just won, like, at that same time. So you're like on a high from
Right.
seeing them win. And then you go to closing ceremonies and you're like exhausted. And then you see Hillary and you're back on that high. And then you get back on
Yeah.
the train and then you're just exhausted again.
You're like, let's go back to Atlanta.
And then, yeah, and then we got back and we only had probably 4 hours until our bus left.
Oh my gosh. Well, what an experience. We have done this kind of sporadically through the episodes this year. We kind of call it like our yearbook superlatives, but we thought to get to know the women on your team a little bit more, we want to do a Team USA women's hockey superlative. So we're going to ask you, a couple questions and you answer who you see fit the best.
Okay.
Right? So who would you say is the funniest teammate?
Probably Megan Keller. We have some funny ones though.
Seems like a lot of characters. Like, okay, best chirp.
Best chirps, Abby Murphy.
What's she usually, what's her line? What's her go-to?
Oh, I don't know. I just laugh alongside them.
Have you ever chirped anybody? You seem too nice to say
Um,
Way too
anything.
nice.
I'm not typically a chirper. I'm more of a supporter on the bench and focus on our team and focus
Yeah.
on our needs. And um, yeah, there's other people that are much better at that.
Who has the highest IQ on the team?
Lee Steckline.
Is
She
she
does her
doing
own taxes.
okay? That's
Oh,
all you need to
Jesus.
say.
Jesus.
Like, enough said. Okay.
And Ava McNaughton is extremely smart. And she's still in school, but she's really smart too.
So we're gonna put both of those.
Yes.
Okay, so they're gonna make sure we pass and
That's wild. Most likely to plan your 10-year reunion.
Lee Steckline.
yeah.
Yeah, she's a big trip
I kinda-
planner.
I feel like I would have put you there.
No, probably not me. I'm not a good I'm a good planner for certain things, but like the party, not me. Definitely more
No.
fun people for the party.
Not the social chair.
Lee's good at organizing trips.
Nice.
Love that. All right, Lee, no pressure. Okay, best dressed.
Taylor Heisey.
Solid. We're gonna look her up.
Okay, team DJ.
Tessa Janicki.
What's her go-to?
And what's her go-to?
Whatever she puts on, she's the DJ in the room. At the Olympics, we had our locker room, and then there was like an auxiliary locker room where they kept us that was closer to the ice. And our equipment manager, Sis, she would run in with her phone and the stereo to get the music going because we had to go from room to room. So
Okay, who's the biggest prankster on the team?
Hillary Knight,
The captain.
she's a good prankster.
What
Trying to
is
think who
she?
else.
What is she doing?
Yeah, anything stand out?
What are her secrets?
She won't prank me.
No. Oh,
She won't
love
prank me.
that.
I know that. So I
respect.
don't have- Oh, you know who else is a good prankster? Is Rory Gilday.
Okay, so what
She-
are they? What are they?
She had a cockroach, and she would hide it in like above someone's helmet. She got Abby Murphy really good in
fake,
Cleveland.
Like, yeah, fake?
real.
I think it was real.
What?
It was dead.
Oh.
Oh
What?
my gosh.
I think Rory's a good prankster.
Oh my
She was
God.
contemplating whether or not to bring the cockroach to Milan. I don't think it made its way. But I'm like, you can't bring a cockroach to
I think
Milan.
you'd have to declare that on
Yeah,
your customs
customs.
form.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so I would say Rory
Oh
she
my
was pretty
gosh.
good. Hillary always has a good couple pranks up her sleeve. Subtle though, not destructive, subtle and funny.
Yeah, not sinister like the
That
death.
is nightmares for days.
Yes.
That's funny. Most superstitious.
I would say probably the
Makes
goalies.
sense.
Yeah, makes total sense.
But you give them what they want and how they want it when they
Yeah.
want it. You give it to them, and they were incredible for obviously Erin Frankel breaking records. Gwyneth Phillips, I don't know if you remember that save she made in the Switzerland game. Oh my goodness, like unbelievable. And then Ava McNaughton got in for a game and made a save there. So I would say probably the goaltenders.
Yeah, makes sense.
Is there anything that stood out superstition wise that like you guys all saw happen?
No, I just leave them alone. I don't. Whatever they need, whatever they want, you just leave them alone.
No pranks, no
Um,
nothing. Just
Honestly, I don't even know if they're superstitious because I just avoid them in a way that I don't want to screw anything up.
Kind
So
like
I
a
don't
pit-
think
yeah.
I don't know if it's fair to say they're the most superstitious because I don't know actually if they are, but I just like don't.
Yeah.
I just leave them. I let them do their thing. I don't
No,
know.
it's kind of like a pitcher on game day. You just
Yeah.
like
You
don't
don't
go
talk to
any,
them.
you don't talk to them.
Yeah, or whatever they need, you get.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think there's any other super. There's probably other superstitions, and I'm just the most not superstitious, so I just go with the flow kind of person. So people's things I probably don't
Pay
even
attention. Yeah.
see.
Wow,
Yeah,
I am jealous of that because superstition is it's
Yeah,
a real
runs
thing.
in-
it's exhausting.
truly is.
You know, like
Okay, last one. Who would you say is the glue girl on the team?
I would say Hillary as our captain. She's fifth Olympics. Just the the anchor, the rock. When she speaks, you listen. When she doesn't speak, you
Yeah.
watch. You learn. If you need something, you can go to her. And she's been the anchor of this program for 20 years, and so I think she's stronger than glue.
I love that.
Is there a group chat?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, great answers. I love getting a little bit more color to the girls' personalities, so we appreciate that. And we always put together a fun little like collage of the girls, so I'm very excited to do this one.
Julie has a very good creative. With
I know
this.
it's
really
kind of
cute.
like
So
in my
we'll tag
fun
you.
world.
Okay.
Okay, I want to kind of go back a little bit into like when you were playing in college and like the PWHL was not a thing. And you may have answered this a million other times in other conversations and interviews, but here now, like when you were, end of your college career, you knew international play was there and you were going to take it. Did you see anything past that? What else were you doing? Were you having like a backup plan while, because women's hockey was not, prevalent, I guess is the word.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a great question. I think I even go back further when I was going through my recruiting process, and I was looking at a school, and the thing that was at the forefront of my mind throughout the entire process wasn't where am I going to get better as a hockey player, and where can I win a national championship. While those should be,
Right.
for most kids are first and foremost, it was what school is going to set me up to get a job for life after hockey. Whether that they can be in hockey, but it's not going to be playing hockey because there was not an opportunity to make a living playing this game as a woman. And that kind of hits you right in the gut when you're 15, 16 years old and you start going through that recruiting process. And I'm like, so all these boys I grew up alongside, they can make a living playing this sport and they can live out this dream of being a professional hockey player, but we can't simply because of our gender. Like this isn't right. So anyways, I made my college decision and I'm so grateful I did. I went to Northeastern and the hockey was unbelievable there as well as the education. But after the 2014 Olympics, I did my co-op, which is a program through Northeastern with the Chicago Blackhawks in the media relations department. And it was through that experience that I saw kind of the other side of sport. I saw the business side, and I remember coming home at night and said to my mom, like, "Wow, playing hockey is a lot easier. This is hard. This is really hard." And then I also remember saying to her, like, "You really have to love your coworkers like you love your teammates." That's all I knew up until that point was being on a part of a team and coming together as a common goal. And I realized, well, it's the same exact thing in the workplace. And I got that experience and I went back to school. I graduated, and that's the reality. It hits you square in the face, right? The iterations of pro hockey that came before the PWHL, you couldn't make a living playing in them. So I did get a job and I continued to play with the national team. And then I played in the iteration of women's pro hockey prior to the PWHL. And I made $7,500 and I was the highest paid player on my team. And I lived in Chicago and I didn't attend one team practice. And when I would go to Minnesota, I would sleep on Hannah Brandt's, I would sleep in Hannah Brandt's apartment on an air mattress. I'd play in the couple games and then I'd go home. And what I would do in between is I'd work out on my own. I would skate with a midget boys team or skate on my own at 6 a.m. When I could get ice. And I would do all of that to stay in shape for my national team activities that were basically in November and in April for the World Championships. And so really I was playing like 10 to 12 games at most after I graduated from college. And it's just... it was experiencing that, going through that. It was seeing these young girls come up to me saying things like, I want to be like you. I want to do what you do. And I'm like, no, you don't. Like I couldn't accept that. And I couldn't accept the reality that we were living. And instead of just accepting it, it was, how are we going to change this? If we're not going to change it, we can't keep waiting for somebody else to change it. We need to be the change. And so it took experiencing it to, be the change that we wanted to see in women's professional hockey. And we're 2.5 years into the PWHL, and all the kids that are going to graduate from college this year, they're going to not miss a beat. They're going to go right into the PWHL. They're going to make a living. They're going to have benefits. They're going to have a housing stipend. They're going to have meals. They're going to have ice. They're going to have coaches. They're going to have trainers, doctors, massage therapists, strength coaches. All of these things that, at least for my 8 years out of college between graduating and the PWHL starting, were lacking. And I think for so many people, they've said, wow, the product is amazing. Like it is so fun to watch. It's so good. And I'm like, yeah, it's that good. And we've had our hands tied behind our back for forever. And we're still that good. Now we have the resources and the support and the financial backing that we've deserved all along. You're seeing the game take the strides it could have taken all these years. But now these players, they wake up every day and they're professional hockey players. They're not teachers by day and hockey players by night, right? They're not, if I can get a treatment in on Sunday when I'm not working, then I'll come in. Otherwise, I'm just going to let it go for the following week. Or, skating by themselves, trying to make it work between their work schedule and their personal life or whatever it may be. Like they wake up and this is their job. And I think, aside from all the Olympics and everything, I'm so excited for this period in time because this is the first time women's hockey doesn't go silent after the Olympic Games. 7.7 million people tuned in to watch that gold medal game, and every single player in that gold medal game has the opportunity to return to playing hockey a week later. We used to have to wait 8 months. Now we're not even waiting 8 days.
And there's product to watch when you come home, and it's there. And then some people who tuned in didn't know it was there, and now they're like they've got a whole new world to watch. It's amazing. I just don't think people and people now that are new to hockey, new to PWHL, women's hockey, I don't know if they know how instrumental you were, and I don't think you'd ever give yourself enough credit into making this what it is. Like, I don't even know the half of it. I know, from the PWHL PA side, how involved you are in it from a merch standpoint, from this standpoint. Like, I remember you getting off the ice. You were on a skating practice. You're messaging us back that you can hop on a meeting during your son's nap time. And I'm like, what does she eat? I need this kind of fuel. You have been so instrumental in this. And what was that like in the beginning stages of developing? Because, you founded the I don't want to get this wrong, the PWHPA before it was the PWHL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you spot on.
So you founded that, and then where, how, what in a nutshell, because I know we could spend, 90 more minutes talking about every little part, but, I mean, you single-handedly with a very talented group of people backing the whole thing, but you were so instrumental in this. Can you explain a little bit more of the beginning stages of it?
Yeah, so in 2019, when the CWHL folded, the Canadian Women's Hockey League folded, it was a moment in time where we could have gone and accepted what was a reality for women's pro hockey, or we could have bonded together and came together and say, look, we can change this game forever together. And we chose that. And so on May 2nd, 2019, we formed the Professional Women's Hockey Players Association, and 200 of the best players in the world came together under one umbrella, which was this association. And for more time than we expected, we functioned and we ran the PWHPA. And we kept players on the ice. We played games. We played showcases. We created the Dream Gap Tour, which the purpose of the name was to close the gap on what a young boy and one young girl can dream to become in this sport as a professional hockey player. And the Dream Gap was working to close that gap. All in the meanwhile, we were working towards this women's professional league. We were building out business plans, having meetings with NHL teams and owners, executives, anyone that would listen to us. We were meeting with everybody to try and get backing behind this women's pro league. So while we were trying to keep everybody happy and on the ice playing, we were also trying to build at the same time on the other side. And then, I should back up. Before we formed the Players Association, I made a call to Billie Jean King and Alana Kloss. And I asked them for advice. I reached out, sorry, can I back up
Yeah.
again? And then you could, okay, yeah. I reached out to Angela Ruggiero, a former teammate of mine, and I said, we need to change this. Like, we can't keep accepting this. Like, this is not right. And she said, you need to go big. You need to call somebody big, like Billie Jean King. And I'm like, Ange, like, I'm not going to get her phone number in the phone book, not to date
Yeah.
myself, but like, yes, I know what a phone book is. And she's like, I'll connect you. So she connected us. And I spoke to Alana and Billie Jean. They were actually at a Lakers game and took my call. And I just poured my heart and my soul to them of like, this is the reality. This is, you guys have done this. You've been the champions of equality your entire life. Like, what do we do? How do we do it? Like, and I just like wanted to absorb anything and everything that they were going to tell me. Little did I know that one phone call would lead to a million phone calls and multi millions of dollars of investment into women's hockey ultimately. So their advice was, you need one voice. And I said, okay, how do we get that? Well, an association. Okay, it's like, okay, I think I know how to do that. And thankfully, our lawyers that had been working for us with USA Hockey, Ballard Spar, I went to them. I said, we need your help. Like, can you help us? Obviously, it had to be on a pro bono basis because we couldn't afford them. They got approval from their firm. They formed the association for us. And that was officially launched May 2nd, 2019. And from there, we created, showcase events and kept players on the ice in different regions. So there's pockets of players in Minnesota and Toronto and Montreal. And really, we booked ice where we could, where those players were. And we got coaches where we could. And we created the Dream Gap Tour to close the gap on what a young boy and a young girl can dream to become as a professional hockey player. So we created that. And we did what we could while we were also building the business and the plan and meeting with executives and meeting with owners and meeting with anyone that wanted to get behind this. And I will tell you, there were a lot more no's than there were yeses. But it only takes one yes. And it took the right yes. And that was in Mark and Kimber Walter, who said, yep, like, I believe in this. And I had a moment where Billie Jean and Alana invited me to a squash tournament in which Mark and Kimbra were the sponsors for and provided the prize money equally to both men and women competing in that tournament. And I met Mark there for the first time, and he looked at me and he said, can you get me the best players? And because of all the work we did all the way up until that point and the unity that we had from the PWHPA, I was able to look him right back in the face and say yes.
You're confident.
And he said, okay, yes.
This is crazy. Mark, I'm very close with the Walters because I worked for the Dodgers for 10 seasons. They're just like the best family. So that makes me so happy to hear that he said that to you. Wow.
Well, and then like it's, he says yes, and then the work really gets started, right? Because now you can have the best plan in the world, but if you don't have the money to back that plan, it doesn't matter. And so it was finding that, again, anchor, to use that word again, but you finding that anchor to invest in this and invest in it the right way, not just, oh, we'll give them a little bit of here, like the crumbs. We don't want the crumbs. We want the whole cake, right? And so, the real work starts, and then, Kat, you said you work for the Dodgers. A lot of the Dodgers executives like Royce Cohen and Stan Kasten, they came to the fold. And so when you really think about this league, we had people who are experts for so many years who came right into women's hockey. Like, how lucky are we that we got all of these people who have so much experience to look at a sport that direly needed it.
It was built on a firm foundation, because even from the merchandise side, I know I've said it before, but like, we were working with Dodgers retail, which is a $4 billion industry. And it was like the fact that PWHL had those guys running the show from day one. Like, you guys were set up in such a strong manner from the get-go. I'm just so happy for it. I'm so happy for you. You pounded the pavement for so long, and the gold medal moment must mean like something, but it's like, it literally adds momentum to your movement. Like you said, like, it's the first time in history like hockey doesn't go silent after the Olympics for the women.
Yeah, and I'm like watching like our college players play and crush it and break records. Abby Murphy just broke a Minnesota record the other day, and it just makes me so happy that they're playing. Because if you were like, when I was in college and I played in the Olympics, you had a red shirt. right? Now there's no
Right.
redshirting because the pros are playing pro and the college players are playing
Yeah.
college. And so like to see her go back and see all of our college players go back and crush it, and then to see all of our pro players, go back into a full-time job and to be able to turn a page and not have to wait 8 months to play another game is like that's the dream, right? And I think the gold medal is like incredible, but I think the PWHL is going to be the gift that keeps on giving. And it was a long, hard 5+ years to get to here.
Yeah.
I mean,
No doubt.
like I think for me too, like starting a family in the middle of
Yeah,
it,
we
like
need to talk about
was-
that for a
was-
second.
Yeah.
The math.
I literally didn't. Yeah, I didn't understand when you could have done that. Like started family, like with everything you've done. I told Julie, I was like, when did that
Yeah.
happen? Like, magic.
Well, there was a call on July 1st, 2023 and I never missed a call, never, didn't miss an email, didn't miss anything. Obviously it was at the forefront of a lot of things. And I think I sent an email. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I said I won't be on the call, which everyone was like, "That's weird. Why she's when they woke up?" But I was in labor and my water broke, and Drew was born on July 1st, so that's why I missed that one call. But
You're like, wait, I'm on the way to
Sorry.
the hospital. I need to just let them know I'm gonna miss out. That's literally something I would do. My coworkers would be
Yeah.
like, that's a Julie thing. But
Crazy.
so that was July 1st, 2023, and essentially saying we're a go. The season's gonna start, and you guys started January 1st or 2nd, right? In
yes, January 1st, 2024. Yep.
So like, I don't know, at the 6 week post, your post birth, postpartum checkup, are you like, can I go train now? Like what how are you going to get ready for this inaugural season?
Well, what was so special was actually like July 1st, 2023. I say both babies were born. That's when the CBA was ratified, the collective bargaining agreement, and that's the day Drew was born. So the league was officially a go. We had a CBA, and now the planning for the league started. And obviously, Drew came on that day. So it was very
Yes.
poetic. And people who have any thought in the world that was planned, not like we were, if you asked me back on May 2nd, 2019, that it would take till January 1st, 2024 for the first puck to be dropped and a global pandemic in the middle of it and my first baby in the middle of it and on and on and on. No, like I wish it would have been a little bit quicker, right? I think everybody would. I wish this was 20 years ago, if you want to be completely honest, but then the real work started. And I think I remember Billie Jean and Alana saying like, now the real work begins. And I'm like, wait, are you serious? I'm exhausted. Like the real work is just beginning. Like, oh my goodness. And they were so right. And the work continues. And that's what's so special about it. But, so yeah, that was July 1st. And then at my postpartum appointment, I was like, so can I
go-
like,
can
am I
I
good to
go
go?
skate?
Like, and he's like, what's your definition of go? I'm like play hockey. And like, he's like, well, take it slow. Like, and so, I was able to get back on the ice shortly after that appointment. And, I did take it slow. I got into market after Christmas. And then my first game back was January 3rd, 2024. So just about 6 months after giving birth. And
I just can't even imagine your hormones, your stress levels, everything going into that first game of just like having, your newborn in tow and lacing up your skates for your first legit professional game that you helped create. Like that must have been crazy.
yeah. It was so emotional, to say the least. Other than like the
Yeah.
postpartum hormones just being like every which way. My husband was still playing football at the time, so I was solo with him 6 months, breastfeeding in Minnesota by myself with 2 dogs, trying to like navigate all this stuff. I was the president of the players union, so like new league, there was a million and one things to address, of course, like anything that's new. So like there was just like so much new at that time, I guess. But I remember that first game in Boston so distinctly. I have a video, with him saying, "Drew, mommy's gonna play in her first hockey game," and he was like just laying on the bed as a 6-month-old, obviously
And then
doing
he
nothing.
becomes a pet kid.
Yes. But it was like, it was just very emotional because I think for me, it was like so much of it wasn't about actually playing in the game. It was just the fact that the game is here and that we're here to stay. And it was more about just
Right.
holistically, like everything, like up until that point. And then I was like, oh crap, I gotta play a hockey game. Like, yes, that's right. I'm like, I just was trying to take it all in. I'm like, how special that moment was. And then obviously having to play in it. But it was very hard being by myself, like in Minnesota with the new baby, and I had to have a nanny travel with me on the road, obviously, but I wasn't going to leave him
Right.
behind for some of
Yeah.
these extensive road trips. But it was so worth it.
Simply incredible. I don't even
Emotional.
have like enough. I just can't even put it. I can't even comprehend it. And it's insane what you have done and did. But like to continue on it, you went on to, you're the captain of the team, you're leading the charge, and you go on to win the Walter Cup not only in the inaugural year, but you win it back to back. Like, talk about poetic. Like this is just kind of insane. Like you're already created a dynasty essentially in the Frost.
Yes, and I would call this like the PWHL in itself, like the
Mm-hmm.
dynasty. It's that it's here to stay. It's a dream, it's a vision, it's a reality. It's now, a like a
Mm-hmm.
job. It's, I know I said this before, but it's more like for the first time I can say that I'm returning to my day job as a professional hockey player after the Olympic Games. Like how cool is
That's
that?
so cool.
But our team in Minnesota is so special. It's been a special group going, 3 years in, and I think when you look at the success that we had the last 2 seasons, it took everybody. It took every single player, every single line, every single role, and that's what it takes to win championships. You guys
Mm-hmm.
know, like it's not one player here, not one player there. It's everybody, and especially in a deep 5 game playoff series, which we have. You have to win. We have to win 2 5 game playoff series to win the Walter Cup for our playoff structure. And gosh, I will tell you, I always had the immense amount of respect for the NHL and the Stanley Cup playoffs. Like watching it as like the biggest fan of
Mm-hmm.
hockey year after year after year. But like to win 4 7 game series, we have to win 2 5 game series. It just puts that into a whole new perspective of like just how hard it is. Like winning those Walter Cups were so
Mm-hmm.
hard with the championship, series format, because I've been so used to more 1 game formats, like the gold medal game. It's one and
Mm-hmm.
done, right? There is the tournament, but a lot of these are gold medal
Yeah.
games, one and done, where it's like now we play this team 5 times, go to the next series, play that team up to 5 times. And so it was really fun to experience. It was hard, but hard is
Right.
fun.
Well, now with this platform you have, can you talk a little bit about your foundation that you guys have?
Yeah, so we have my husband and I founded the Schofield Family Foundation back in 2019, and really there's a lot of areas we have our hands in, but I'd say a lot of it's like what speaks to our heart and our mind and our community. In a few months from now, we'll give away our 7th annual Schofield Family Foundation scholarship to a senior student athlete at Carl Sandburg High School in Orland Park, where we both went to high school. Most recently, actually, while we were at the Olympics, there was a groundbreaking for an all-inclusive park that we're helping with here in the town. So they tore down a park, and it's going to be an all abilities park for any kid who comes to the park. There's a place for them to play. So there's been a few projects like that have been involved, and our work with the Ronald McDonald House here in Chicago. It was super awesome to hear from some of the kids when I headed off to the Olympics, getting some videos from them, and so a lot of the work is here back at home. But I think for both of us, we feel so blessed to have been able to have the careers we've had and do the things we do. And if we can touch and inspire somebody else's life and encourage them and support them in any way, shape, or form, we want to. And we've been able to do that, whether it's through the foundation or just through the community. We want to be there for people, just like so many people have been there for us.
You
Right.
guys
Wow.
are so awesome. Like the best couple ever. I want to meet you guys in real life.
You will. We are all in way too many rinks
Seriously,
to not
it
run into
has
each
to
other.
happen soon.
Yeah,
It
we'll
will.
have
We
them
love
somewhere.
to end with our last little quick shootout game just to get to know you a little bit of a off the ice, Kendall. So, what is your pregame ritual?
Nothing too crazy. I just really just tape my stick, hang out until it's time for warm up. I like to visualize after warm up, just like look at the ice and envision just certain plays in my head. Whether it's face-off plays we want to run or just things that I go over in my head, and then I just get ready for the game, and that's it.
Hobby or hidden talent?
I don't really have. I would say a hobby. It's not really a hobby, but I love my dogs. I love walking my dogs. I love animals.
That's-
That's not really like a hobby.
No, that's a
I
hobby.
would say
Big animal fans on this pod.
yeah.
okay.
What is your guilty pleasure?
Ice cream,
What's your go-to?
cookies and cream.
Good one.
There's a fun fact. There's an ice cream store here in the town, and they named it ice cream after me called the Golden Coin, and it's so good. And it's golden Oreo, cookie dough, and vanilla based ice cream. And I told him like this ice cream is too good not to keep it, so you have to change the name, please do, because don't get
No,
rid of
keep
it.
it forever.
So I do like the Golden Coin.
Wait,
Yeah,
you
that-
need to trademark
But
that,
also,
that
yeah, but
name.
also, what an epic name! Like
Yeah, you need to
Yeah.
run with that. That needs to be like
something.
a thing for you.
Yeah, that's where my husband and I got engaged. Was at the ice
my
cream
gosh.
shop.
Oh my
It's a
God,
forever.
stop.
Yeah.
They're not getting rid of that flavor.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
no, it's called the Plush Horse, so it's like local to the town. It's like the best.
Shout out.
So
Love
that's
that.
a good flavor too. Yeah.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird. Do you have a choice when you have kids? Both.
Yeah, honestly.
Neith-
On
I think
any
both,
given
I
day,
guess
it
I
could
would.
be both. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I'm up early with him at time. He's a good sleeper. I'm up early with him, but then the night times when I get everything done.
What is your biggest mom hack?
My favorite mom hack is surrounding him with 20 plus aunties at pretty much all time of his life.
Wait, that is yeah, that
sick.
you can't top that.
Yeah. Oh my God! Wow, what the coolest aunties
Yeah.
ever? Jeez.
They love him and he loves them more than anything. It's literally like the coolest thing in the
I love
world.
that.
He's gonna have the best throwback Thursdays if that comes back on
Yeah.
Instagram in however many years. He's
Remember
like
when?
throwback all my cool
Yeah.
moms and aunties. Like- Very cool. Who's more competitive, you or Michael?
Me.
Oh, that was a very quick.
No thought there.
That one yeah.
What are you
Me.
competing with him in like just everyday like things?
Now that he's retired, not really. But we used to train together. And so we always had fun like when we were training together. Now he doesn't like he just trains to be like fit and
Yeah.
like healthy versus like an elite athlete. So we don't really
Do you guys ever play
Yeah.
any sports against each other or with each other?
Like off ice, off field.
yeah, like it's funny. We always say we'd make the greatest backyard game team ever because we love like can
Yes.
jam and bags or like cornhole.
Yeah.
I think a Chicago thing called bags, but like we like love all of those backyard games and like we always try to play against our siblings and we crush them.
Cute. Okay, if you had a theme song, what would it be?
My mom would say this for sure, but Bigger Than My Body by John Mayer.
Oh.
So it's like Bigger Than My Body Gives Me Credit For is like
Yeah,
she always
yeah.
says that.
I love
Aw.
that.
That's so sweet.
I love that. Well, it seems fitting, but our last one is what is next for Kendall?
Getting back to Minnesota and getting back into the lineup and trying to chase a three-peat and a Walter Cup.
That's amazing.
So cool.
Oh,
Jeez.
well, Kendall, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. And after a whirlwind tour you have had, we cannot thank you enough. You are not only inspiring on the ice, but off the ice. I think you have so many people looking up to you. And Michael, your guys' partnership is something that is so admirable. And we are so fortunate to just be front row to it and watch it unfold still.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Kat. And thank you guys for all the support that you have provided us through and through.
Okay, well, she's amazing as she is on paper, in real life, on podcasting. I'm in awe of her. I'm inspired. I had chills half the time she was talking, and she's like a unicorn. I don't know.
Yeah. Such fun energy. Her
Yeah.
energy's amazing.
I know, just the best. I love that we got to talk to her and just see her light in real life. And like she said, it didn't dawn on me either that it was like the first time like women's hockey didn't die after the
Yeah.
Olympics, because we're right back in it. And it was just
Yes.
amazing. And
Sorry if I didn't say much. I was just like in awe listening. Like literally.
and we
like,
got
everything.
to see the medal.
Okay,
like,
we had our first gold medal moment on the pod.
just
Thank you.
casual. Casual. Here it is. Here
In
it
a
is.
sock.
Yeah, in a sock right there on her desk.
How
She's
cool.
just amazing. And I really don't think how people know how instrumental she has been in, like, I just can't wait to see her go to the Hall of Fame one day. Like,
Yeah.
she's going to be in the Hall of Fame the second she's able to be.
You're like, and we're gonna be there in the audience.
I hope.
cheering her on.
Literally, I hope. It's like the most fun.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah.
Well, something that's been going around the league, and I know you hated me bringing this up a few past episodes ago, but the NHL follow tracker on Twitter, it is so stupid. I know. We
gosh.
don't love giving it the time of day. They brought it up on the Sharks broadcast. That caused a whole thing. But Stella's been trending lately. Stella Toffoli's been trending on the NHL follow tracker. We have
Oh my
Wenny.
gosh, wait,
Wenny
I
followed
don't even
her.
think I follow.
Wenny, Colin Graff. You follow Stella. Stella Yorkie Toffoli.
I do.
For anyone. Yeah. And then finally, Michael followed her. And I didn't even see him follow her on the account. I saw it on the NHL follow tracker on my Twitter. I was like, all right,
Stop.
finally, Michael. Like, she's literally, you're her brother. Like, how long?
Thank God I follow her.
Yeah, you do. Don't worry. I would have told you. But yeah, so finally her brother followed her. I gave him some stuff about it yesterday. I was like, what took you
so
so long,
funny.
you weirdo?
Let's see a picture of them together tonight.
Yeah, no, I'll do that. And I have a surprise for you.
Oh my gosh, me? Not good. I love surprises though. Not good with them, but I love them.
Hey.
Jakey! I could cry.
Could you?
Oh my gosh, I could cry. Hi, Jakey.
Hi. How are you?
How are you?
Great.
Are you sleeping?
On the road, I am.
Yeah, I bet. I bet you're
Yeah.
enjoying this time.
Yeah.
Wait, how are the babies?
They're good.
My
6 months.
gosh, I love seeing you in the flesh.
I'm alive.
Twin dad here, twin boy dad.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm still waiting for my invite for the full podcast, but
Anytime.
no, I'm a summer. It's summer.
Summer? Okay. We're putting it on the books. I was like, we've got the 9th open. I'm
No,
looking
no.
at the schedule.
Don't say that on the pod.
No, I'm kidding. They can cut anything.
Mm.
Well, I was so impressed with you guys taking those babes to the Bahamas. I was
That
like,
was fun.
way to go.
Once we got there.
Yeah,
The
well, no
flying there
doubt.
is not fun.
No, that's
No.
miserable. So
I don't know how you do 4. Just 2 is a lot.
they're self-sufficient now. Really,
Yeah,
we've
some
just
of them
got to
are.
we've
Yeah.
got to watch Blake, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I missed you. I'm glad to see you're on the road.
Miss you too. I'll see you in. No, I won't. We don't play Florida anymore. In
We
Florida.
come there. I know I have a great debate whether I take travel with 4. I'm thinking I might come to Montreal, but it's a midweek game. Do I?
ballsy.
We'll see.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah,
Somewhere.
we'll see it. Regardless, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You'll come to a baseball game in
Yes.
Michigan. We'll figure it
Yes.
out.
I need to do
Boyd
that.
and I just went to spring training versus Toronto yesterday. Tigers
Jays
versus
win?
Toronto.
Who won?
They tied 4-4.
Perfect. Perfect.
It was a win-win for everybody.
Perfect.
Yeah. Anyways,
All right.
that's my updates. Miss you. Glad
Miss
to
you
see
too.
you. Y'all
I'll
have
see
fun.
you soon. Yeah.
I love you.
Oh, that made me so happy.
I know, right?
You guys, Jake Evans, he's the best.
He's our
The best
favorite.
of the best.
Jakey Babes, as we call him.
Jakey Babes, but now like twin boy dad.
I have not seen him since he was a dad. Literally during Kendall's interview, they walked in and he was so excited to say hi. I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
that was
that's
your okay. Cool.
Yeah, no,
Oh, I love that. Thanks
Cutie.
for that.
Yeah.
Made my day.
Yeah. Thought you would love to see that smile. Shout out M. We miss you.
Yeah.
Emily.
Gosh, I miss her.
I know.
We're actually doing another Call the Girls event with the Montreal girls, and they're just going to be fun too.
Yeah.
So
When's that?
That's next Saturday or the
nice.
7th. This Saturday. Gosh, what day is it?
I don't know.
Anyways, that being said, thank you for listening today.
Yep.
It was just the best episode. I don't know. I feel like I come off every episode on such a high, but this one felt extra special hearing your story. But whatever, Kat. See ya.
No, sorry, Ty just came in and unleashed Stella into the room.
Your big little pit bull just pushed you.
I don't
pushed
know
your
what
chair.
the guys are messing with me like today.
All right, time to wrap it up. I got to
Yep.
take some boys to baseball, but
Yep.
appreciate you guys listening, listen to
Yep.
past episodes, and we'll catch you next week.
Yep. See you next week.